We give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yah by way of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. John 5:39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you would not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. Aside joy, get yourself together. You will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there is one that accuse you, even Moses, in whom ye trust. But had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Would you like to sit with your mommy, or would you like to stay here? Okay. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 1. Do you want to read? You ready? Matthew 5 and 1. And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain. And when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, say, Baruch are the poor, and Ruach, for theirs is the kingdom of Shamayim. Very good, very good. So we'll continue with that particular point that we've been looking at for the last 2 days. And now let's go to Psalm 72. Would you like to read again? Do you like to read? Very good. Psalm 72. And we'll pick it up at about verse 4. Verse 4. Psalm 72 and 4, everybody. Give me a moment. All right, y'all. He shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy. And shall break in pieces the oppressor. Say oppressor. Do you know what an oppressor is, Thanks? That's somebody who bothers people and tries to do mean things to them. When we have the word poor here, we have ane again, which is poor, afflicted, humble, and wretched and lowly. He said he will judge the poor of his people. When we sit back and we look at judge, we have shafat at this particular point. And if you remember, that's the shan, the peh, and the tet, and that is to destroy the snake. So if he say he's going to destroy the humble of his people, how is he going to destroy the snake? The context clue is in the verse itself, because he said he'll save the children of the needy, which is Ebion, and shall break in pieces the oppressor. And when we look at oppressor, the word is a shock. It is someone to press upon, to oppress, to violate, to defraud, to do violence, to get deceitfully, to be exploited. So that word is a shock, as I stated. So how is he going to do the shafat, which is the executing the judgment on the poor of his people, and save them in the same breath? How is this going to be executed? Who has an idea how this can be executed? Like I say, the context clue is in the verse itself. Psalm 72 and 4. He said he shall judge the poor of his people, and shall save the needy, the children of the needy, and shall break in pieces the oppressor. The word is shafat for judge, and for this, and you should remember that's to destroy the words of the snake, or to consume the words of the snake. This is what he said he'll do for the poor of his people, because judges that execute judgment. Does anybody have an idea? Very well then. Let's take a look. Yeah, I do it like that. John chapter 16. After John chapter 16, Romans chapter 6. And after Romans chapter 6, 1 John chapter 3. You got a cold stank? Your nose stopped up? No. John chapter 16 and verse 7. Abigail, take that phone call in the back. Go and take that call in the back. Well, thank you. Thank you, Abby. Nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is expedient for you that I go. Abigail, no, please. I don't want it. I don't want it. But I thank you. Nevertheless, I tell you the truth, that it is expedient for you that I go away. For if I go not away, the Comforter will not come unto you. But if I depart, I will send him unto you. And when he is come, he will reprove the world of sin and righteousness and of judgment. Of sin, because they believe not on me. Of righteousness, because I go to my Abba and you see me no more. Of judgment, because the prince of this world is judged. Now, pause. I have to do this in a different fashion, because we just talked about this recently too. Go to Habakkuk chapter 1 by verse 3, because he said the poor of his people he will judge. So if we're looking at the poor of his people he's going to judge, and he's going to destroy the commands of the snake, then we have to see how he's going to consume the commands of the snake. Yeah, I do it a whole different fashion than what I've been to. Praise the Lamb. Regardless. Again, the whole point of what we talking about these last 3 days, and this might be the conclusion of what I'm dealing with this particular thing before I move to another theme. But the theme is that you must be humbled, afflicted, and made low to enter into this man's kingdom. And if you're not going to make it. Because that affliction and that lowliness should bring forth two things up out of you. Obedience and hope. If they don't bring obedience and hope, then your tribulation was strictly for your destruction. Because see, as Peter's told you in 1 Peter chapter 2, no, Abigail, ain't enough room for you. You can be going through something, and it's not because Yah is trying to get you to obey or to have hope. It could be punishment for your faults. Because see, Peter told you what good is it if you're buffeted for your faults. He said there's no thanking that. He said, but if you go through something and you done nothing wrong, and with patience you take it, this is acceptable to Elohim. See, everybody think everything you go through, oh, see, that's Yah testing me and straightening me. No, that could be punishment for something you've done. And it could have been something you did 10 years ago. It could have been something you did 10 minutes ago. You know what I'm talking about? Because he said he by no means clears the guilty. He forgave David. He still let David catch it. All that stuff David went through wasn't to try his righteousness. That was him being buffeted for his faults. What Absalom did to him wasn't because to see if David was going to believe or obey. Man, you done killed this man's wife, this woman's husband. Got her pregnant and all that there. You got to catch that. So you got to know the difference. See, and the reason why I mention that, because you got the man in the book of the prophet Obadiah. When Elijah told him, go get Ahab, he said, you calling my sin in remembrance? You ain't heard about what I did? See, they had that type of mind that if something negative happened, the first thing that came to their mind is, you calling my sin to remembrance. You know what I'm saying? They ain't around here screaming, the devil busy. He trying to steal my joy. That's new nigga talk. That's wicked nigga talk. Those people knew better than that. They knew it wasn't no devil busy. They knew, boy, that man gonna come back around the corner and come see you, because they knew what the law said. He by no means clears the guilty. If he was to clear you and absolve you from guilt, meaning that there was no punishment, what would you learn in that situation? Absolutely nothing. You would learn it was acceptable for you to have niggardly behavior. That's what you're gonna learn. Nobody parents their children in that fashion. Habakkuk chapter 1 and verse 1. No, go over there with your mommy. So you could take Abigail with you. I appreciate your help, Leah. Leah, I appreciate your help. You did very good. You did very good. Take Abigail with you. The burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see. O Yahuwah, how long shall I cry? And thou wilt not hear. I just want y'all to keep that in mind about the crying and not hearing. Even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. Let me see. Abigail, please don't come over here with this. It's getting old, Abigail. It's getting old. Yeah, and it's the same word. We'll be looking at this word again. The word for cry in this verse is shavah. S-H-A-V-A. It's 3 characters. We're going to have the Shan, the U, and what was the last one will we have? Because those are 2 very easy ones to be able to look at. And I'm in Habakkuk chapter 1 by verse 2. And this is the cry out, or cry aloud, or shout. For help, from freedom, or from some trouble. What would be that last character we would use for this here? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I heard both of y'all, and that would be correct. So if we got ayin, we're going to see and we're going to experience, and we're going to experience the sacrifice that consumes when you're crying out. Because this is why he said he's crying out. Look at it again. He said he's crying out because of violence. Remember what we looked in Psalm 72. He said that he would cry, that he would deliver you from the oppressor and break the oppressor into pieces. But then another thing I want to ask y'all is this, and I know I'm being redundant with it at the same token. Were they not crying out in Egypt? And did he not break into pieces the oppressor? Just keep it in mind. Verse 3 says this. See that also right? He said, "Cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save." See, I've seen a lot of people. They've been going back and forth about the young man that got killed in California. They say it's women mainly saying screw that nigga because he talked bad about black women and he had an Asian old lady and had children from him, and say he won't no children from no black women, and that black women were ugly and black babies are ugly, even though he was a black baby. He didn't say it in those words, but that was the gist of it. So a lot of people felt like, I'm not supporting this nigga because he don't support black women. People are entitled to feel how they want to feel. I wouldn't take that track personally. You know what I'm saying? Clearly this is a broken and confused individual. See, I'm going to tell you something, right? When you are a broken individual, then you have a very, very bad view of yourself. Therefore, you feel like everyone views you in that fashion of how you view yourself. See, our people haven't healed themselves. This is why we have the problems that we have. See, the book tells you that Yahuwah heals you from all your diseases. See, so coming from the word not only is going to come and heal you from sin, it should heal you from every other thing that you possess. But the main thing why that doesn't happen is because people don't seek to do so. So this is why the stuff you got going on. But now some stuff is different. Like some people may like to smoke weed because they just like to smoke. Some people are smoking weed to deal with whatever trauma they experienced in their youth or their upbringing, or shoot, even their adult. Because you got some niggas walking around here with PTSD from the environments that they live in. You know what I'm saying? Some of us can't relate to that because you don't know what it's like to hear gunshots every night and see niggas get plucked every night. You know what I'm talking about? To some people, that's just a rap song. You know what I'm saying? That's just a music video. That's just the boys in the hood or menace to society. But for some people, that's their everyday life. That's not entertainment for them. You know what I'm talking about? I don't think they know what that's like to see that on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know my mama and them grew up watching domestic violence every day. That can do something to your brain. You know what I'm talking about? And we grow up in America and we crying out because of violence or what these people doing to us, and it seems like y'all won't answer. That's why niggas walk away. He said, "Why dost thou show me iniquity and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are they that raise up strife and contention. Therefore Torah is slack, and judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked doth compass about the righteous, and therefore wrong judgment proceeds." See, in this instance, you got straight mishpat here. The things that are correct are not proceeding. The things that are correct are not proceeding. Now, I know I said John 16. I had something else in the direction I was going to go. I can't remember what it was. But nevertheless, we're going to get there 1 John chapter 3, though. Now, y'all know the book of Ecclesiastes says oppression will do what?
Make a wise man mad.
But surely oppression will make a wise man mad. So if we looking at that, before we even read 1 John 3 and 8, how can we tie that to Elohim then? If oppression make a wise man mad, how can we tie that to Elohim then? How will we be able to accomplish that?
Say when they cried out to him in Egypt, he came to save them.
Now that wasn't, he wasn't even necessarily, it wasn't even too many times that, if my memory served me correctly, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it ain't too many times that Yah even said he was angry dealing with the Egyptians. He said in chapter 6, he said, I raised Pharaoh up for this said cause to show my power in him. So it wasn't even the point of him being angry. You know what I'm talking about? When he said he heard our cries, he said he had respect unto us. But I don't think there's an instance where it's stated that he was mad. And that wrath, well, it mentions it in some of the prophets, but in the story of Exodus itself, I don't recall that being there. I could be mistaken. But I'm thinking about something different though. What would be oppression and who would be the oppressor? Before we read, what'd you say? Before we read 1 John, go to Acts chapter 10. Acts chapter 10 and verse 34. I lost my page, so Shayla, you got an idea over there?
I said we'll be the
You got an idea over there, Deidre?
I honestly was trying to figure out in what context you're talking about, like right now.
I was just speaking whatever you had to come up with. Who's the oppressor and who's being oppressed?
we being oppressed and Ashatan is the oppressor.
I said Yahushua was oppressed. But, who was the oppressor?
I can accept that answer, Shayla. Part of your answer is correct, sir. Muffin D, would you like to take a spin of the wheel?
Yeah, I would say that the oppressed would be the saints, or the chosen, and the oppressor would be anybody that's trying to come in between. I'd say.
I can accept that answer. Do you have anything? Would you like to spin the wheel, Muffin? Zach, would you like to spin the wheel?
I don't have anything for that.
All your answers are correct. For if I whatever, and I could go in any direction with all of those. And the one that Dee mentioned, I did have it in my mind to go in a direction. The one Shayla mentioned is the one that I really wanted the most. Shayla had half of you. If you would have took Shayla's answer with yours, then you would have had the whole play. Johnny, you'd have had the whole play. Because when we look at, but see, y'all missed one person in the play would have took in. He mentioned Yahushua being oppressed outside of the people. Who else oppressed him? Remember, oppressed means to do violence to. His father is the one oppressed him. You know what I'm saying? Now Shayla hit it on the head what we finna read in Acts 10, because the devil was oppressing. And what means was he? And also said the oppressed means deceit. And remember what I told you about Romans chapter 7. It says sin deceived me. And after sin deceived you, what does it do? I'll accept it. It says it slays you. It kills you. That's what he says. By sin it deceived me and it slew me. And what was ordained for life for me became death. You know what I'm saying? See, we were talking about this last night, right? And I know y'all know this, but I have to warn you of this here, man, because I want this stuff to be really wrapped up in your brain real tight. You have to have a very, 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 very carnal mind to know the word and go contrary to it. Because 99.9% of the time, something is crying out in your spirit for you not to do it. And for you to disregard it, that's a very carnal mind. And that goes for everybody, myself included. Nobody's exempt from that. Because I'm telling you, like what Paul stated in 1 Corinthians 9 and 24, I have to keep my body under subjection lest I become a castaway. See, and then you think, oh, you preach the word, he's straight. No, I'm not straight because I'm still alive. So that means at any time, just like at any time, Yahushua could have sinned at any time. It was his fear, his love, his trust, and his hope for his Father's word that refrained him from doing so. See, some people say, oh, he was God in the flesh. That man said he was the son of who? Adam. You know what I'm saying? So that means that it was possible for him to sin at any time because he was flesh and blood. He chose not to based off the love, fear, hope, and trust in his Father's word. Period. You know what I'm saying? So what we got to understand is that when we make the decision to go contrary, in Yahuwah's eyes, we have told him, I don't love you, I don't fear you, I don't trust you, I don't hope in you. You know what I'm saying? That's his bottom line. Because that's how he sees it. That doesn't mean that there's not a chance for forgiveness. Does not mean that there isn't a chance for redemption. We just is stating the plain, clear, uncut fact. Don't take that fact as meaning that sin couldn't be put away. Because remember what he told David. You caused my enemies to be able to blaspheme behind this. We know David. He knew David loved him and trust, just like he knew Peter loved him and trusted him even though he denied him 3 times. But you a man, I know what you finna do. But I'm going to put it away. But I'm telling you what you finna do before you do it. And when he did it, he knew for certain. If he didn't know Yahushua was the son of Elohim before that, he definitely knew it then. I remember having my homeboy like, yeah, man, that's what niggas say what they gonna do in tight situations. And I'm like, man, and I understand that because you got some niggas say, I'll bust, I won't snitch, put somebody in that type of situation. They don't pull their gun out and they tell on everybody. But I say, but the difference with Peter was, though, is it was written that Peter had to do this. So it didn't matter what, because we already know Peter was ready to ride. He the one pulled the weapon out. He the one told the man, I ain't going nowhere. I'll ride with you to the death. But Hamashiach was telling them, no, y'all got to flee from me. To see, Peter put himself in a position to be the one to do this because he wasn't listening to the man when the man told him, it's written, y'all got to go. This got to happen. This book got to be fulfilled. But Peter didn't know that. They didn't know none of that. See, I don't want y'all to be around here to be the ones that you know what it say and then you're fulfilling it in a negative aspect. See, they didn't know. You know. That man don't want to hear that. That man don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? We don't have no excuse for that. We ain't got no business doing that. Period. We ain't got no business doing that. Period. It's no excuse. It's no excuse. Acts 10 and 34. Then Peter opened his mouth and said, of a truth I perceive that Elohim is no respecter of persons, but in every nation he that fear him and work righteousness is accepted with him. The word which Elohim sent unto the children of Yasharal, preaching shalom by Yahushua HaMashiach, he is master of all. That word I say you know, which was published throughout all Yehuda, began from Galilee after the immersion which Yachanan preached. How Elohim anointed Yahushua of Nazareth with the Ruach HaKadosh and with power, who went about doing good and healing all that were oppressed of the devil, for Elohim was with him. Who is the one person in the gospel that is mentioned that Yahushua himself said this person was being oppressed by the devil? Yeah, you know who it is. I put it to you this way. He healed this individual. He didn't say he was oppressed by the devil. The woman who had the issue of blood. He told them scribes and Pharisees this woman had been oppressed by the devil for 18 years. See, the reason why I'm taking this track, because Yahushua, in order to deliver them to be oppressed from the devil, he himself had to be oppressed by the devil. But that oppression was coming from his father, though. Because remember, he said he will judge the poor. So he has to destroy the snake. That's why we read that part on, and the prince of this world is judged. Because the person who was oppressing Yahusha and causing wrong judgment to proceed was the orchestration of the word of Elohim from his father himself. He just used men to execute it, wicked men at that, who had no problem in executing it. They had no problem doing it. See, and that's why I mentioned what I said before, right? Them scribes and Pharisees sat in them synagogues every Shabbat, every day, and read the same scripts and fulfilled them in condemning the man. And didn't even realize while they were doing it, that boy, that's Psalm such and such. That's such and such. That's such and such. Straight up. Didn't even realize what they were doing. See, I don't want you to be around here where he sit back and say, behold, you despisers, I work a work in your days which you'll no wise believe, even though a man told it to you, and you sat there and heard that word told to you, and then you go out here in the world. Because I'm going to tell you something, right? I don't care nothing about a nigga showing up. That means absolutely nothing to me. What do you do when nobody's watching? You know what I'm saying? See, it's real easy to be sanctified, just like them people do on Sunday when everybody's watching. What do you do when you're alone? When nobody's looking?
I know y'all not playing.
Because that's gonna be that's the real deal, Holyfield. Anybody can be righteous when there's eyes on them. 1 John 3 and 8. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, 3 and 8. He that commits sin is of the devil, for the devil sinned from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of Elohim was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. And there goes the Shaphat. Like shit, this is a refresher because we just talked about this not too long ago. You know what I'm saying? Because he said he will judge the poor. So he destroyed, now we could go to Romans chapter 6 now. He destroyed the snake for the poor and needy, and delivered them from the oppressor, and broke the oppressor into pieces. Do you not remember the law said that he will bruise Satan's head by stepping on it? Why do you think? What's that verse in Psalms 110? Y'all know Psalms 110, don't you? Christians love to use this verse. Ain't even talking about that. He'll make your enemies your footstool. Nigga, he ain't talking about you, nigga. He is not talking about you. You know what I'm saying? Because he did make Yahushua's enemy his footstool because he stepped on Satan. He trampled him underfoot, just like the book said he would.
Sire, sit down.
Romans 6, probably about verse what? 13? Sire, we're going to tell your Abba he going to cut your butt. 6 and 12. You want your Abba to cut your butt? I didn't think so. Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that you should obey it in the lust thereof. Neither yield your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourselves unto Elohim as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness unto Elohim. What you think he mean when he says those that are alive from the dead? Say that again. You raise them up. What you think, little muffin? Oh, little muffin, you should have something for us. You got a lot of years in the game. Been shooting on the court a long time. Your jump shot's pretty nice. You got something for me on that, Deidre?
I'm ready.
All right. What about you, Zach?
Oh, that's wrong.
Man, y'all might as well just get on over that. It's not like I'm going to say, you stupid idiot. How did you not know that?
I mean, usually I gotta read the full thing. Like,
All I want you to know is when you hear that he says, as one who is alive from the dead, what is he telling you? No, he ain't talking about Yahushua there. You might want to do what D just did and reread that verse. Look at what he's telling you, and what does that mean? Listen to what he just told you. Do not yield your members as instruments of unrighteousness to sin. Yield them to Elohim as those that are alive from the dead. What do you think he means? D, you ready to go?
Hold on one second.
Those that are born again, they're alive, they was once dead. Shoot a shot.
That's what I would. That's what I would say.
Mm-hmm. I'm just waiting on D. That's all.
I gotta give myself a second. I've read it, but to put it in words, like, I'm sorry. You're a quick thinker. I'm really not. Sorry.
It's all right.
Well, I'm not sorry, but that's just like.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's not that big of a deal.
Taking it quite yet.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I ain't in no rush. Ain't got nowhere to go.
Okay. So, from life to death, from death.
He says, but as those that are alive from the dead.
So I guess like coming, and for lack of better terms, to be born again, coming back from the dead of being alive.
Yeah, all y'all got it right. All three of y'all said the same thing, and that's the correct answer. But now we'll actually go through the text and answer it now. And let's go to Luke chapter 9 and verse 58. Yeah, y'all was right. That's why I just waited before I told y'all was right, because I wanted to see what she came up with. What caused you to be dead? That's exactly, because remember that verse is telling you that. 9 and 59 actually. And he said unto another, follow me. But he said, Master, suffer me first to go bury my father. Yahushua said unto him, let the dead bury their dead, but go thou and preach the kingdom of Elohim. Is anybody familiar with that verse in Proverbs? He say, he that wandereth out the congregation of the living will dwell where?
Say it again.
He that wanders out of the way, not the congregation of the living. He that wanders out of the way will dwell where? I'm not saying if y'all don't know it, you know what I'm saying? It's a verse in Proverbs. If y'all don't know it, we can't go get it so you can see it for yourself.
Proverbs 21:16.
You are correct, man. You are correct. You are correct. Proverbs 21 and 16. Proverbs 21 and 16. It says, the man that wandered out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So if you come outside the way of understanding, he just told you you'll be in the body of death. So when he tells you yours is one that it was alive from the dead, and Mashiach died because he became sin, because the soul that sinned, it shall die. So while you were in your sins, you were dead, because she that lives in pleasure is dead while she lives. Because you don't have no Ruach HaKodesh in you, so therefore you don't have any life in you. But now that you have mortified your members and been immersed in the death of Yahushua, now you need to live as one who is alive from the dead, or one who's been delivered from their sin. And you ain't got no business walking in it. Back to Romans chapter 6.
Put it down.
Romans 7.
6. Notice what he said, wandering out of the way of understanding. Remember, if you lack understanding, you are worthy of death. Yahushua came to give you an understanding that you may know him that is true, and that you are in him that is true. Even his son, Yahushua HaMashiach. This is the living Elohim, the true Elohim, and eternal life. That man came again. So that's why if you don't have an understanding of the text, you are going to hell. Like, because and you know why you going? Because he told you get wisdom, but to get what? Understanding. So if you get understanding, what did Yahushua do when he rose from the dead? He opened the scriptures and caused them to do what? understand the scriptures. Understanding the scriptures is not to be able to say, this is Yahushua here, this is Yahushua there. It is to understand the plan of redemptive salvation of the living Elohim. So that therefore a man will have fear, patience, hope, and love for him. And serve him with the whole mind, the whole heart, the whole soul, and all the strength, and to love their neighbor as they love themselves. You can't tell me you love Yah and dishonor your own body. You can't tell me you love Yah and disrespect your neighbor. You can't tell me you love Yah and you will separate chief friends, as the scribes and Pharisees sought to do. You can't tell me that. You know what I'm saying? And you can't tell me you love your neighbor if you can go sin, because you don't love Yah. So I know you don't love your neighbor. First chance you get, you gonna snake him. Back to Romans chapter 6. I gotta get on point. I'm at 35 minutes. For sin shall not have dominion over you, but you are not under, this is verse 14, but you are not under the Torah, but under Khan. What then shall we sin, because we are not under Torah but under Khan? Elohim forbid. Know ye not that to whom you yield your servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom you obey, whether of sin unto death or obedience unto righteousness. But Elohim be thanked that you were the servants of sin, but you have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which was delivered you. But then being made free from sin, you became the servants of righteousness. That's why he had to judge the poor. Because only the humble going to come to seek to free themselves in the first place. Psalm 72. We in verse 5. Because I need to get to the point of why we even here. Psalm 72 and 5. Are any of y'all familiar with Psalm 72? No, when I say familiar with it, do you know, and unless your book tells you that, and it probably does, do you know who it was written for?
Solomon.
Yeah, that's what it says it at the top. Say, they shall fear thee as long as the sun and moon endure throughout all generations. So keep that in mind. It says the needy and the poor will fear Elohim as long as the sun and moon endures. So let's look at this here, right here, right? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do it like this here. Isaiah chapter 60. Before we go to Isaiah chapter 60, Jeremiah 33. And then Isaiah chapter 60. And then from Isaiah chapter 60, Revelation chapter 21. He said they will fear him as long as the sun and moon endures. Who knows how long the sun and moon will endure? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Jeremiah 33, verse 23. Moreover, the word of Yahuwah came to Jeremiah, saying, consider thou not what this people have spoken, saying, the two families which Yahuwah have chosen, he have even cast them off. Thus they have despised my people, that they should be no more a nation before them. Thus saith Yahuwah, if my covenant be not with day and night, what rules the day?
Sun.
According to what?
Jesus.
What rules the night? According to what? And then another place in Genesis, what did he tell you he saw in the sky according to the prophecy of Joseph? He did. He also seen something else too.
Stars bowing down, right? So,
Let's look at that because I'm leading something. Genesis 37. Amariah. Leave it alone. Nothing. Nothing. Yeah. 37. 37 and 7. Go on, come on, cuz. Nothing. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about it, and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brethren said to him, Shall thou indeed reign over us, or shall thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his words, for his dreams, and for his words. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. Behold, the sun and the moon and 11 stars made obeisance to me. Now keep that in mind. He said the sun and the moon do what? They rule the day and the night, right? Now come on back to Jeremiah 33. Yeah, you didn't like that, did you? Mm-hmm. You nothing. 35, 33, and 25. Thus saith you, if my covenant be not with day and night, and I have not appointed the ordinance of Shamahim and Arats, then I will cast away the seed of Jacob and David my servant, that I will not take any of his seed to be rulers over the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for I will cause their captivity to return and have mercy on them. Matter of fact, y'all can disregard that Genesis 37. That wasn't what I wanted. It was actually the Genesis 1, which we already referenced. Put that hanger down. Bring it to me. Bring it to me. Bring it to me. Mm-hmm. Put it on your butt. Yeah, on your butt. I'm on your butt. 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 Yes, on your butt. On your butt. Your butt. Now he said that they rule the day and the night if he break this ordinance. So Isaiah chapter 60. The sun greater than the moon, correct? Isaiah chapter 60, verse 19. The sun will make that verse 18. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasted nor destruction within thy borders. But thou shalt call thy walls salvation and thy gates praise. The sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee. For Yahuwah shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy Elohim thy esteem. The sun shall no more go down, neither shall the moon withdraw itself. For Yahuwah shall be everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. Thy peoples also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever, the branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be esteemed. A little one shall become 1,000, a small one a strong nation. I, Yahuwah, will hasten it in its time. Now what he just told us what was going to go down in the kingdom. What he told you wasn't going to be there. No sun and no moon. And he told you he'll be the light to it. But notice again, we see this word here. A little one and a small one. And those are the words that we read when we were looking at Gideon and Saul. Someone who was insignificant. Little. And that take you back to Yahusha, because that's how they viewed Yahusha. An unimportant person. Remember, they said there was no beauty in him that they would desire him. They didn't see any Kadeshness or magnificence or honor or splendor where they would desire him. They saw him as being insignificant and unimportant. That's why he said, Righteous Father, they've known thee not. He said, because they haven't known you, they haven't known me. Revelation chapter 21. We've been a little redundant, but it's okay. Revelation 21 and 22. And I saw no temple therein, for Yahuwah Elohim Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of it. And the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon to shine in it. For the esteem of Elohim did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. You know why we came here for this? Because in Isaiah chapter 6, where we was at? It wasn't in Isaiah chapter 6. We was in Psalm 72. It said that those poor and needy people who had been delivered from the oppressor would fear Yahuwah as long as the sun and moon endures, right? How long is Yahuwah and Yahusha enduring? forever.
Trick question.
It ain't a trick question because the moon is the one that is the lesser light, which is Yahushua. He say, my Father is greater than I. The sun is the greater light. And they gonna fear, because read the key point of what we read. Didn't it say in Isaiah that everybody in the kingdom would be what? Righteous. Everybody would be righteous. Psalm 72. Psalm 72 and 6. He shall come down like rain upon the mown grass and showers that water the earth. In his days shall the righteous flourish,
Somebody came in. Get more.
Mari.
and abundance of shalom, so long as the moon endure. He shall have dominion also from sea to sea, and from the river unto the ends of the Arras. And they that dwell in the wilderness shall bow before him, and his enemies shall lick the dust. What do you think this means when he says his enemies will lick dust?
Serpent crawling in death.
Yeah, we got that. But what you think he mean when he say that they gonna eat dust?
Mari, get up, Bob Popular.
Lil Muffin, what you think he mean when he say he gonna eat his enemies will lick dust? He says his enemies shall lick the dust.
What verse you in? Verse you in?
In verse 9, man. Verse 9.
You gonna kill him.
But what does he mean when he said they're gonna lick dust? Now he mentioned the part where he told Satan he'll go upon his belly and eat dust. What does he mean when he says they're gonna lick dust?
His head will bruise his head. Okay.
You gonna fall to his feet.
You got something for me, Lil Muffin?
I'm thinking about eating and praying, like Shannon said, but
Yeah, they'll bow before him.
Bible form? Okay. D, you got something for that?
I would say, yeah, down, down.
Bowing down. Hold on.
According to what I just read.
I got you. I want y'all to come over here to Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 11. I'll make it verse 9. After Jeremiah 17 and 9, Philippians chapter 3. The part with Satan going on his belly wasn't incorrect, but that wasn't what I was looking for. Because you can't tell it, because you got to be able to know why is he eating dust. What does it mean when he's licking up dust? The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?
I'm about to come pop all three of y'all.
Go ahead and do it then. Shoot, don't threaten them with a good time. Go ahead and invite them. I, Yahuwah, search the heart. I try the reins. Hold on. Hey, every last one of y'all be quiet. I don't even want to hear you breathe. I, Yahuwah, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways, according to the fruit of his doings. As the partridge sit on eggs and hatch them not, so he that get riches and not by right shall leave them in the midst of his days. At his end he shall be a fool. Esteemed high throne from the beginning is the place of our sanctuary. O Yahuwah, hope of Yasharal, all that forsake thee shall be ashamed. And they that depart from me shall be written in the earth, because they have forsaken Yahuwah, the fountain of living waters. What does that mean when he said they're going to be written in the earth?
The judgment is the lake of fire.
Swallow them up.
He just standing and said it. Philippians 3 and 17.
Okay, what you said, son?
I said that judgment will be the lake of fire.
Where's the other place where people's name going to be written?
In the book of life.
Where's the book of life written at though?
In Shamayim.
In heaven, right? So you got people named written in heaven and written in the earth, right? What did Yahuwah say he'll do to the earth?
He'll make a new earth. He'll burn the earth with fire.
He gonna burn it. So when they licking up dust, what was man made from?
Yes.
So that means they're gonna eat up that which is carnal. Remember what he said? Those that sow to the flesh shall reap to the flesh what? Corruption. So when he say that his enemies are gonna lick up dust, they're gonna lick up corruption or death, destruction, damnation, degradation, if you will. Brethren, be followers together. This is Philippians 3 and 17. Brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which walk so as you have us for an ensample. For many walk, of whom I've told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they're enemies of the stake of Mashiach, whose end is destruction, who Elohim is their belly. Now that's when you can come in where you mentioned Satan in Genesis. And whose esteem is in their shame, who mind earthly things. See, anybody who doesn't want to take up their stake and deny themselves is an enemy of Mashiach. And how could you be a friend or desire an enemy of your king? That don't make sense. Now all y'all go in the room, because that's what you get. Psalm 72, verse 10. Hush it. Yeah, your butt warm now. Y'all thought it was a game. It wasn't no game. Shoot, you can get some too. Shayla's an equal opportunity spanker.
He said he good today.
Say he ain't got time, huh?
He said he chilling today.
Psalm 72 and 10. The kings of Tarshish and of the isles. Who are the isles?
The Gentiles.
The Gentiles shall bring presents. The kings of Sheba and Seba shall offer gifts. What y'all think? Let's look at Sheba real quick, right? Sheba means 7 or an oath. There's 3 characters in this name. Spelled S-H-E-B-A. What characters would we come up with if this means an oath or 7? It's very easy now. And the ayin, right? So you get to experience what? Being joined together to the Son, because they're bringing gifts. I want you to come to Psalm 68 and look at another thing with that. Let me ask y'all a question. In the law, because it's unleavened bread, did the Egyptians come bringing gifts? And if so, what did they bring? Did they bring gifts, anyone? Anyone? It's an open question before I go to it to see.
I feel like they took the gifts because
Did they bring gifts or not? They didn't bring gifts?
I just remember.
Exodus chapter 12. I'm going to see if they brought some gifts.
They brought the magicians and such. I don't think that was.
I'm going to tell you right now. They brought gifts. Oh, they brought gifts. You know where y'all stumbling at on that? Because he told you you'll spoil the Egyptians. But you ain't take nothing from them. They brought it to you.
Oh yeah, that's what
Yeah. They see, because the spoil part, you think they took it. We didn't take nothing. They definitely came and dropped it off and said, you take this with you and you go. That's exactly what they told them.
I just remember when they said in the script, they was like, they packed the unleavened bread, they took.
We finna read it.
in the jury.
12 and 32. They ain't take nothing. We finna read it. We ain't take nothing. They brought it. They brought it. 12 and 32. Also take your flocks. Well, 31. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night and said, rise up and go you forth from among my people, both you and the children of Yasharal, and go and serve Yahuwah as you have said. Also take your flocks and your herds, if you have said, and be gone and bless me also. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people, that they may send them out of the land, for they said, we would be all dead men. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading troughs bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders. And the children of Yasharal did according to the word of Moses, and they bought of the Egyptians jewels of silver, jewels of gold, and raiment. And Yahuwah gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required. And they spoiled the Egyptians. Egyptians broke bread. Y'all made them give it to him. We ain't got to take nothing. We ain't have to take nothing. He gave it. It's like he said, hey boy, go. You need some jewels? Huh? You want some gifts? Shoot, nigga, that's my best fit in the back. Shoot, I got 4 more just like it in my wife's room. Get them too.
Mm.
You know? Do you know why that Yahuwah would have to when we wouldn't have to take it? According to the text, why wouldn't we have to take it? Why would he have them give it to us?
The wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous.
I can accept that. That ain't what I was looking for, but I can accept that. I definitely can accept that. I can't turn that one down. I was looking for something else though. That word for borrowed is sha'al, and it means to ask, to inquire, to consult, also to beg. But we know they didn't beg. The gold and the silver, who does it belong to?
Yahuwah.
That's why we ain't got to take it. Why would God have to take what's his? I ain't got to take away what's mine. I ain't got to steal what's mine. Remember what he told you? I ain't asked you for no burnt offerings and sacrifices. He say the silver is mine, the gold is mine, and everything in the earth, that's mine. That's why these people gonna come bring it. I ain't got to take nothing from you, nigga. You ain't doing nothing but giving me back what's mine. You know what I'm saying? I remember when dude would be like, oh man, I stuck a dude on this one. He talking about, man, you ain't nobody got no business tithing, it was never money. I say, well, what the money made from? Y'all know what money made from?
Trees.
Cotton. Cotton. It's made from cotton. Where does cotton come from? And who made the ground? So you ain't doing nothing but giving you. Either way it go, you still giving them crops. It don't matter how you spend it. You will know exactly what he doing. If you was giving them coins, what the coins be made from?
Gold or silver.
Or copper. So what?
Minerals from the ground.
Mineral from the. So guess what you doing? You still giving him back what's his. He got niggas either way. It don't matter how you spend it. That man, he got him either way. He got him either way. Even if it was trees, as you mentioned, he still got him either way.
And he said they gonna do that again when we leave up out of here.
Oh yeah, he told you that. We finna read it. Isaiah chapter 60. Hold on. Psalm 68 first. We say you ain't never look at it like that?
Nah, I ain't gonna do that like that.
Yeah, you motherfucker, tell you that all the time then.
That's how you get a smart.
That's why she knew that cotton.
That's how you get a smart art.
Yeah, but it was just the point of it was not for really the promotion of tithes, but to show you that no matter what you doing, you was giving to Yahuwah what was already his. It's mine. See, the problem, what I was telling the brother, the problem coming in at was not the dispensing of the tithes, but who the tithes was going to and what they were doing with them was the problem.
In Leviticus, don't they say the tithes was like the crops and the stuff?
Man, the tithes was crops, the tithes was animals, the tithes was cash, the tithes was whatever the people brought and gave to them. Because you could took your crop or your animal and turned it to cash because you wanted to keep it, and the priest kept the money. You know what I'm saying? Our people didn't really look at it like that. Like I heard the brother the other day though, he wasn't lying. Like that verse of Malachi when he talking about them robbing God, he was talking about the priests. He wasn't talking about the people. The priests were taking the tithes and they wasn't putting it in the storehouse like they were supposed to, and they were bucking the jack. They were doing what Eli's sons were doing. They were stealing. See, boy, you'll make a Christian pastor mad when you say, sir, this chapter's to the priest. He's talking about you. You robbing God of tithes and all. Stop lying to them people, making people feel bad they didn't put their money in their pot. All that is, Psalm 68 and 29, all it is a psychological ploy. 69 and 27. Or 26. It's just a psychological ploy. Baruch ye Elohim in the congregations, even Yahuwah from the fountain of Yasharal. There's little Benjamin with their ruler, the princes of Yehuda and their council, and the princes of Zebulun and the princes of Naphtali. The Elohim have commanded thy strength. Strengthen, O Elohim, that which thou hast wrought. Because of thy temple at Jerusalem shall kings bring presents unto thee. Now we know that we couldn't spin this and say this. We're talking about when Yahushua was born, because where was he born at? So that wasn't the temple in Jerusalem. We just read in Revelation 21, it said that Yahuwah was the temple, right? Yahushua said his body was the temple, right? He said them people gonna bring presents to this temple in Jerusalem. Psalm 68 toward the end talking about Yahushua's return. Y'all can read that on your own time. You can definitely see that here in verse 33 if you didn't know, when he tell you that to him that ride upon the heavens which were of old he doth send out his voice, and that a mighty voice. But he say he riding on the heaven, that mean he riding on clouds. And if he riding on clouds, that mean he riding to kill. Isaiah chapter 60. He coming to pull what he did in Egypt the first time. See, I know some people don't like to hear that, right? I remember a long time ago I told my homegirl, I say, man, when I started reading that word, man, and I seen this man was going to kill all these people because of what they did to us, I said, that brought comfort to my soul. She said, you shouldn't say that. I'll say it again. It brought comfort to my soul. You know what I'm saying? And then I showed her Micah chapter 7 why I felt like it, why I said that.
Sit down.
Straight up. So I just didn't say that just to say it. You know what I'm saying? This man say, I will wait on Yahuwah till he bring forth indignation on my behalf and make my enemies as the mire of the street. I can sleep at night off of that. See niggas look at that stuff. I ain't talking about like them niggas, death to the white man. I can sleep at night off of that. I don't care what color you wear. Niggas too. All enemies of Yahuwah can catch it. Niggas too. That man say it's a righteous thing for this man to recompense wrath to them that trouble you. So the people who gonna be troubling us 9 times out of 10 gonna be a brew. I hope he kill you dead. I told Zach the other day, it's some nigga, boy, I hope y'all kill them nigga dead. I hope your wife don't never have no churn. You know what I'm talking about? I hope your penis stop working. I hope you get fired from your job. I hope you never got no food in your refrigerator. I hope every prayer you got becomes sin. You know what I'm talking about? I hope all your hair fall out. Shoot, Zach, what chapter I told you about? Why I said that? Psalms 109. You go ahead and get it.
That's why Yahushua prayed.
Let's get Psalm 109 so y'all can see why I said that now.
Yahushua said that about Judas. That's why Yahushua said that about Judas.
Now this is a prayer David made, but he just said about Judas. The Psalm 109 is about Judas.
He said make his prayer become sin.
Make his prayer become sin. See, look at that Psalm 109. Why they want you to? This for wicked people now, and it's very righteous. Very righteous. He said, hold not thy shalom, O Elohim, of my praise, for the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are opened up against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue. They've compassed me about also with words of hatred and fought against me without a cause. For my love they are my adversaries, but I give myself under prayer. They have rewarded me evil for good and hatred for my love. Set thou a wicked man over him, and let Satan stand at his right hand, and when he shall be judged, let him be condemned. And let his prayer become sin, and let his days be few, and another man take his office. Let his children be fatherless, and his wife a widow. Let his children be continually vagabonds and beg. Let them seek their bread also out of the desolate places. Let the extortioner catch all that he have, and strangers spoil his labor. Let there be none to extend mercy unto him, neither let there be any favor to his fatherless children. Let his posterity be cut off, and the generation following let their name be blotted out. Let the iniquity of his fathers be remembered before Yahuwah, and let not the sin of his mother be blotted out. Let them be before Yahuwah continually, that he may cut off the memory of them from the earth. I concur with that statement. Yeah, I didn't say that just to say if you a wicked nigga and you was speaking words of hatred and you was hating people without cause, I hope your mammy go to hell. I hope your children die. I hope you starve to death. I hope you go straight to hell. I'm talking about, and niggas say, how could you say that? Shoot, Yahushua felt the same way. It's his word, ain't it? So he felt the same way. All them people that compassed themselves against him, that was the judgment that should have been rendered upon them. You know what I'm saying? And is that not the judgment he gonna render on these people? It ain't my fault you evil. How you gonna blame me for you being evil? And I'm saying that you ought to get what y'all say an evil, wicked man deserves. If I did all that, I would deserve it too. That's why that junk don't. That's why again that take us back to. You heard everything he said right here. That take you back to where it says it's a righteous thing with Elohim to recompense with tribulation those who trouble you. It was a righteous thing for Yahuwah to do that to Pharaoh, was it not? Ain't now Brew wouldn't say Pharaoh didn't deserve that, but because this nigga's a Hebrew, because this nigga black and he do the same thing, he shouldn't catch that too. Shoot, I don't care. He said, your enemies say, I hate your enemies with a perfect hatred. You hate my God, I hate you too, nigga. And you ain't got to be no atheist or no non-believer or no idolater to hate my God. You can hate my God by proclaiming his name and taking his name in vain by moving contrary to what his written words say. Nigga, I hate you too. And I hope you go to hell. I hope your children die. I hope they starve and beg, nigga. I hope they gotta go to the Salvation Army to get something to eat. I hope they gotta stay at the Salzbacher, nigga. I hope every time your wife get pregnant, she gets 6 months pregnant and lose the baby.
Dang, 6 months? That's tough.
Straight up and down. That's what the book just said, didn't it? Let your posterity be cut off. He didn't say how it was gonna get cut off, did it? See, but they said that's not right. See, that's pride. That's for any wicked person. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what nationality you belong to. That's for any wicked person. That's what you deserve. Because you ain't going to be, I guarantee you, right? And I'm going to deal with this part on Friday. When these people come to line up to start killing you for believing in your God, you think you're going to be around here talking about, y'all, don't kill them. Yeah. The men up under that altar say, how long before you avenge our blood? They didn't say, spare him, Lord. Because you just kind and loving. No, man, kill that nigga. And let him die. That man hated me without a cause. I ain't did nothing to this man. All I did was stand for what was right and spoke what was right, and this man wanted my life. That's what Jeremiah said. Jeremiah said, judge him and let him die. They finna kill me for nothing. I ain't did nothing to him. Shoot. Don't get mad at me because that's... See, nobody don't want to believe that y'all do it standing.
No, you put it on the sofa.
Her no was stronger than yours. She wasn't even talking about it. It was good timing. No, it was just good timing. It was just good timing, you know, because she was talking to the child. No! But seriously, though, nobody don't want to believe that y'all roll like that because that destroy. But remember, it's not you walking around feeling like that about anybody willy-nilly like that. It's about somebody who is coming at you to do you harm, persecute you, or to speak words of evil against you without cause. That's the key point. They had to perform a wicked act against you without cause for those words to be relevant and tangible. If it's just a nigga you don't like and he ain't did nothing to you, now you ought to go to hell for that. Everything you hope to call on you, that should fall on him, should fall on you. Because you the one in the wrong in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. That's everything. That's why, now you can see why he said it was better for Judas to never have been born. Well, that's rough right there when y'all say, boy, don't even let his sin, don't let his mama's sins be blotted out. Not mom, dudes. Say, let the iniquity of his father. That man prayed, let his whole family go to hell. That's rough, man. That's rough right there. That's rough, boy. Golly. Woo.
Oh, yeah, you speaking hatred, bro.
Straight up. That's what a nigga say. We speaking that real. Revelation 21. That's that real. That's that hurt, though. That's that real, though. You know why somebody say hatred? Because they only gonna hear the part of let Satan be at his right hand, let him be condemned when he judged, let his mama's sins not be blotted out, let his father's sins be remembered, and not hear the part of the wickedness that the person worked without cause, and the words of hatred that person worked, and you rewarded this person evil for good. See, they're not gonna remember that part. Because this is the judgment for everybody who hate Yahushua. That's why he say, those that sin willfully, there is no sacrifice. Because now you done trodden under the foot the covenant and the blood of the son of Elohim. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living Elohim. It don't pay to betray him. See, that's really the point. Because Psalms 109 is about betrayal. So it don't pay to betray him. So then when you consequently, when he say, do not touch my who? Don't touch my anointed ones. And then you coming up with Psalms 109 as you talking about what? If somebody got the Ruach HaKodesh, what that make them? Make them anointed. So then when you do that, what have you done? You touched his anointed one. And we know what that man say he gonna do if you touch one of his. He gonna raise up with indignation in his heart. And again, it takes us back to the Thessalonians. It's a righteous thing for him to recompense tribulation to those who trouble you. Yah sees that as a just thing to do this to this person. And we have numerous examples of this in the book where he has done this. You know what I'm saying? That you trouble the righteous. Yah seen it with Nabal tried to trouble David. He ain't even let David touch him. Let Nabal die from a heart attack just hearing what David was going to do to him. The nigga fell out and died. Y'all felt that was a righteous thing to kill Nabal. You know what I'm saying? But a nigga don't want to see it that way because they don't want to look at, don't play with Yah and don't play with his children. Find you something else to play with. Find you somebody else to play with. Play with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't play with him and don't play with his people. Pharaoh found it out real quick. Nebuchadnezzar found it out when he had him out here eating grass, rolling around in water. And the beast and the false prophet gonna find it out in the last day. Because that's what they gonna be coming to do. Coming to kill the people without cause. So you think I'm finna be praying for Yah to spare him? You think I'm finna be praying for Yah to spare the people he's sending to take our lives? I'm feeling just like the men up under that altar. How long before you avenge our blood? When they destroyed when y'all destroyed Babylon, what were they singing? He says, sing ye Kadesh apostles and the prophets, Yahuwah have avenged you on her. Because all the blood of the righteous are found in her. He told them to sing. Man, nigga got to be stupid. I ain't around here feeling sad for no wicked nigga. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care who you is. That don't mean I treat you any different. That don't mean I run you down and belittle you. But I know your judgment, cuz, and I don't feel sorry for you. Straight up and down. And when I'm talking about wicked, I'm talking about somebody who's disagreeable to the righteous in this instance. And not somebody who's just disagreeable to Elohim by his behavior. I'm talking about working wickedness towards the righteous. You ought to die, nigga. It's all types of people in this book that ought to die. And I ain't even talking about no punk. An idolater should die. A whoremonger definitely should die. An adulterer definitely should die. You know what I'm talking about? Someone who persecutes the righteous definitely should die. A nigga who don't take care of his children should be killed, woke up, and killed again. Because this man say, you definitely don't believe in me. Because we've been with over this years ago before I even knew any of y'all. This man say he take care of his own children. So ain't nowhere in the world you going to tell me you're Yahuwah and you don't take care of your children. You know what I'm saying? Because this man say he take care of his own. That's what he said, right? I keep covenant with thousands of them that love me and keep my commandment. That man was still taking care of us when we were in exile.
He said he even feed the fowls and you more precious than them.
Come on, man. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you have to really look at this man's character and what he is about. That man say, if you hurt any little child who believes on him, nigga ought to hang a millstone from your neck and toss you in the sea. Yeah, you ought to die. Guess what? Most all them children in that room been immersed in this man's death. They know that. They may not know no specific. They know this man's word when they hear it. Now let somebody come and do something to them children. Them niggas going to hell for that. Let somebody come do something to one of y'all. They going to hell for that. But you could do something to the righteous and not even be forgiven for it. Matter of fact, y'all can send you to do something to the righteous because this give him his reason to kill you. Nigga don't even be knowing that. Do you not understand that all them people that gathered up against Mashiach was gathered up for that purpose so Yah could kill them all? That's why they were there. And one, shoot. Soon as they took my crucified, let his brother. I done wiped them all out. That's why such a small number of people repented when they heard Peter them preaching. These niggas was already done. Didn't we tell you not to teach in this name? Man, shoot. Nigga better start reading that book, Revelation 21 and 24, and deal with the reality of it. See, I'm just real enough to go ahead and just say it. Most people don't want to hear that because, oh, that brother there puffed up. That brother there arrogant. Boy, it say what it say. Because, nigga, if I did a nigga like that, the same thing ought to happen to me. So he should feel the same way. Oh, I'm a little over. And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth do bring their esteem and honor in unto it. So you see how they bringing them gifts? So I skipped over Isaiah 60. Let's look at some of the stuff they're going to bring. Let's just look at some of the stuff they're going to bring. Isaiah 60 by verse 4. Or make it verse 3. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and the kings to the brightness of thy rising. Lift up thy eyes round about and see, all they gather themselves together, they come to thee. Thy son shall come from far, thy daughter shall be nursed at thy side. Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thy heart shall fear and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee. The multitude of camels shall cover thee. The dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, and all they from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and incense, and they shall show forth the praises of Yahuwah. All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee. The rams of Naboth shall minister unto thee. They shall come up with acceptance on my altar, and I will esteem the house of my esteem. Who are these that fly as a cloud and as doves to their windows? Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from far, their silver and gold with them. Unto the name of Yahuwah thy Elohim, and to the Kadesh one of Yasharal, because he have esteemed thee. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor I had mercy on thee. It's the same thing like when you came up out of Egypt. He gonna make them bring it. You ain't got to take nothing from these people. They gonna bring it, and they gonna bring it willingly too. Psalm 72. I might have the other part of Psalm 72 till Friday, man. I'm already past my time. Yeah, I'll read verse 11 right. They say, yea, all kings shall fall down before him, all nations shall serve him. Let me ask y'all a question. When it came down to Solomon, everybody served Solomon, didn't it? We had some good rest with Solomon, didn't it? Revelation 19, we'll start right there. 19 and 12. He said all the nations gonna serve him and bow down to him. Remember, and we already read that last night in Philippians. Say every knee gonna bow and every tongue will confess that Yahushua is master, to the esteem of Abba Elohim. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head will make it 11. I saw Shamahim open, behold a white horse. He that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name writ that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of Elohim. And his armies which were in Shamahim followed him upon white horses, clothed in linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth go a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and that he should rule them with a rod of iron, and tread the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty Elohim. And he have on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, Malik of Maliks and Master of Masters. Because if he the King of Kings, guess what all these people going to have to do? They going to serve him. And if they don't serve him, then they will die. But hallelujah for Yahushua. I got one more part to that.